we lost you. Here's another one, and I couldn't fit it all on the screen. It had all this crazy stuff happening on the side and stuff there, but it was good stuff. But again, it starts with a picture, and I wasn't sure what to do next. And so, unfortunately, you click the X button, and you're not going to spend a lot of time there. If I did a Google search and I was looking for, this church in somewhere in Texas or wherever, New Jersey, I think this was. All right, so now we're getting a little better. So I actually looked around the Indianapolis area for websites. This is Indy Metro Church. Now, I thought this was better because one of the things that I liked about it, okay, and again, it's the artist, is that I liked that there was new, what first to do, maps and times were care. It wasn't as cluttered. It had, decent nav. This seemed interesting. And then it had some information about events coming up and online stuff there. Again, eye of the beholder. Is the site being used? Is it meeting the purpose and the strategy? And is it measured? Another one, this was actually a website that won an award. Very clean. Actually multi-language. So it had a top nav bar, actually in Spanish there. This changes pictures. They had photos here and stuff like that. You saw people. The church is people. Seeing faces isn't a bad thing, right? Again, my opinion. Here's one that's a little more hip and rad. Again, this is like art. Is it working? Is it doing what you want? Is it driving membership volunteerism? Is it driving stewardship? Is it driving information? Have the plan. This one was a little busy for me, but I copied the page kind of halfway down just to see kind of what was going on there. Whoops, I'm sorry. Press the wrong button there. Go back. So you get the hang of it. But there's no reason today that a church can have an interactive website that actually has a strategy and a plan. There's just absolutely no reason. There's all sorts of budgets. You don't got to spend $60,000 or $100,000 on a website today. Now, there's free ones out there, and you get what you pay for, but there's free ones that look good, and we can help you with that. But for relatively little money, you can have a good website. There's not an excuse, unless you're absolutely telling me you have no resources. And I actually just pointed out the door and said there's resources in every town. And they don't actually have to be with you. You can actually do it over Skype and talk to someone, and they can remotely put content on your site. You can be anywhere. So those limitations aren't there anymore. So no excuses. Okay. The social network. We're going to talk a little bit about Facebook here. And we're going to take a survey first. Fastest growing demographic on Facebook. So grab in the middle again. $25, $26. This one got popular. We're up to 45, 46. Ready? Aim. Fire. Women. You're right on the money. First demographic is women, then seniors. Why aren't college students there? 96% of all college students have a Facebook account. They already have one. US based. They already have one. Don't have to hit me over the head to say how I have to talk to them, where I got to be out in that marketplace. It's a digital marketplace. You got to be there. So that's actually the correct order. You guys got it right. You are smart. You're consultants. All right, here's my little Facebook page, and I have to tell you a quick story is that I have 900 friends, not all my friends, but I use Facebook not as much. LinkedIn is my primary social network. There's just so many hours in the day. And I still have happy birthdays on there from like 3 years ago. And the reason is I can't take them off. It takes one at a time to take them off, and that takes up a lot of time. And so the digital breadcrumbs that you're leaving are there for a long time. My niece just graduated college, and she's going to be a teacher. And I looked at her Facebook page, and I said, oh my God, change it. It took her a long time. Thousands and thousands of pictures, videos, and comments that you just don't want an employer to see. Cleanup takes a long time. The digital breadcrumbs are there. Here's the great rule. If you think before you actually post, think before you click the send button here. Now, here is Central Christian Church, and here's their Facebook page, and they've got 40 friends. Now, I don't know how big this church is, but I got to tell you just looking here, it's okay, right? Let's go here to Life Church, right? 35,000 people. What's the difference? What's that? Craig Show, right? Okay, that's fine. You can have a leader. The difference is that the pages look the same. It's the content that's different. Okay? So I will tell you this. Life Church wants you to copy them. Here's a bit of free consulting. Go copy them, because they want you to. They give away all their content anyways. Go copy their Facebook strategy. But have a strategy. Is your strategy for outreach? Is it for call to actions for events? Is it for education? Is it for membership? Is it for equipping them? Is it for actually externally focused to be part of the community? Have a strategy. Don't just throw it up there because you have to have one and everyone else has one, because there's different degrees of usage. They put content up there, and that content gets virally carried. People expect good content that they'll actually is interesting. If not, they'll skip it over in a blink of an eye. Here's Granger down in Indianapolis. They've got a really good page. Kim, who I've heard her present before, she's fantastic. If you email and call her and talk to her about her Facebook strategy, they have a strategy. They have a plan. And they incorporate lots of people to add content. Now, you can check that content before it goes live, but it's important because this is engaging stuff. What's the difference? You're using Facebook's infrastructure to communicate, but have a plan. Pastor Rick Warren has one. 135,000 people. You got something to say, right? He's a name. I love this. I'll show you in his Twitter page what he says about himself. It's just hysterical. But this is fantastic. People care what he has to say. Got a lot of followers. And if you join this, because you'll be freely accepted, you can actually participate. You're not blocked unless you do something stupid. You can be an observer or a participant. Now, Focus on the Family's Facebook page is actually part of its doing commerce to support their ministry. They're selling books. They got a shopping cart built in. Not hard to do, but they have a store. Because that's the marketplace. Not only can actually their 92,000 members refer this and buy books, but they can refer it to their network of friends. Not hard to do. Red Cross. 215,000 friends and people that are participating in this. This is great information. Link to this from your church. People need to know this, right? Because who are the volunteers in the disaster? Mostly church volunteers. From near and far. With money, with goods, with their time. Work in the soup kitchens. Good stuff. 200,000 people. Ask a question, get an answer. What do I do about preparedness in my town? How do I band all the churches together to actually know what we do in a disaster if something happens locally or remote? Teamwork. We can do it. All right. I'm going to take you out of the Christian world a little bit and go into the secular world, but there's people following Brittany, right? Brittany's got almost 6 million followers on Facebook, right? So there's people doing it. Oh, we got someone here that's admitting that they're following Brittany. Whether you like her or not, she's still attracting a crowd. And has a voice out there, and there's people that are following her. Lots of young girls. So you want Brittany to teach the kids? I'm a little skeptical. We'll see. Starbucks. 16 million people are members of this page that are talking about coffee. Oh, same guy. It's credible. But why are they on there? Starbucks is on there because it's a broadcast medium, because it's the marketplace, because they want you to go buy another cup of coffee at $3. $5 for a latte, whatever it is. But people are talking coffee. Not in the coffee shop, they're talking it online. And you can come here and get coupons. McDonald's, they reintroduced the McRib. For those of you who are vegetarians, please, close your eyes. I didn't know the McRib was, it relaunched after 8 years. It's big news. Not to me, but to somebody. And the Monopoly game. This is an advertising channel. They spend big bucks with Facebook. Facebook's an advertising model. That's why you don't get charged for using the utility called Facebook yet. Maybe not ever, maybe. Not everything can be for free, because free doesn't pay the rent. But McDonald's pays the rent. They pay the rent to Facebook. And that's how you get a beautiful page that has coupons and interactivity and all that stuff. Nike too, right? Nike has cool pages because they actually bring out new LeBron videos every week, and people go back there to watch them. Groupon, the latest craze. The penny-pinching family that needs to actually get coupons in their area. Groupon is a rage. Interactive coupons, buy your category for what you like. And then lastly, the number one photo sharing site in the world is Facebook, by far. It beats every other site 10 to 1. Flickr, Picasa. The reason that the older generation now and the grandparents are getting on Facebook is they want to see pictures of their grandkids. Sole reason. Sole reason. And so here's Paris, and you can actually learn about Paris and different people posting photos and even the Paris Visitors Bureau because they want you to come to Paris. Or they want to buy something in Paris. So again, giving you some flavors of what you can do on Facebook besides having that staticky old church page. Let's move on. Blogs, I saw some people are blogging. WordPress is actually a good tool to use it. Okay? 98 million words were on WordPress yesterday. Pretty amazing amount of noise coming through. Blogger's another one. This is the Googlebot Blogger. And then the largest blog site that gets the most traffic right now is the Huffington Post, because they've cultivated so-called experts. And if you go to the religion page, you know, they've got shocking stuff as well as stuff that actually you may want to consume and maybe want to repurpose if you're able to. There's plenty of content out there. Some of it's garbage, some of it's brilliant. Just kind of the way it is. And then Gabe Lyons has Q. This is a very interesting blog. I get the email, I get the blog. He puts a one-line email, and it makes you go read the rest of it. So I click on it every day, or when he comes out, whatever the frequency is, and usually something interesting to say about the world that we live in. Communities. LinkedIn is a community. The proliferation of communities is huge, because every affinity has a community. And there's small communities and there's large communities. And so how you define community. LinkedIn is this business networking community. Mostly to get jobs right now, but it's also to do deals. Get connections. Get advice. LinkedIn Groups is terrific, and I already talked about it, so it's really great. Flickr is photos, just like Picasa. Again, just putting the link on your church's website to that private Picasa page, you got a photo sharing site that you have video and content, and you want to protect it. We'll talk about, this is social media, the good, the bad, and the crazy, which I didn't want to call it ugly, but there's some bad stuff, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. Virtual world, we're going to learn about that. One of the sessions is about Indiana Wesleyan's virtual world. A couple million people that are in the virtual world, buying real estate, going to virtual church, and having a little avatar and running around in a virtual world. It's entertainment, I would imagine. Foursquare is really new, already purchased. I can't remember who purchased them, it might have been Yahoo. But this is geo-tracking. You get medals in your community, but it tells you where you are. If you want to be found, this is one of the good ways you can be found. So Foursquare, you earn your medals and your badges, and it's just recent activity. The problem is that when you blink of an eyelash, the activity changes. And so if you're not logged on at that particular time, you're bound to miss it, unless you specifically go to someone and go track what their progress is and where they're at. eBay is a community. It just took all the junk out of the garage and actually made businesses from it. But it's a very large community, selling cars to selling Pez dispensers. Huge, huge community. Go in there and search church, and you'll see lots of stuff for sale. And so Circle Builder, which I'll talk to you guys much about, but I actually decided we needed a church space. We needed a place that actually connected the website and Facebook and these social medias, but a place that you could call your own under your own brand and your own rules. Because there's certain decorum in your space, and you need control of that. Whereas Facebook, you don't have that control. So having private groups where you can actually talk to someone confidentially for the budget committee or a healing ministry. You need to be able to do that. You need to have real conversations, but something's not meant for everybody's consumption. And unfortunately with Facebook, it's for everybody's consumption. So that's why one of the main drivers why I created this 3 years ago. And so we basically created, and there's a lot of church going on. There's people talking to people, offering devotional prayer. There's seeing scripture, seeing video, seeing events planning. This is interactivity. This is outside of Sunday. This is anytime. 24-hour church. Okay, quick quiz. Second biggest search engine is? Because Google's the biggest. So grab your clicker. Let's see if we can get to 40 again. Bing is Microsoft's. All right, we're at 40, 41, 42. Okay, here we go. Answer is Bing. Someone thinks Microsoft is. Interesting. Actually, Twitter. Twitter actually is the largest. There's 1 million searches like a minute going on Twitter. On every single topic you can think of. Twitter. Twitter is a search engine. It's a short message system for broadcast, but Twitter actually is the second biggest search engine. Most people don't know that. Now, text messaging is here to stay. And so for the ability to communicate to this device called the smartphone or the cell phone is very important, but it's not complex. There's text messaging service. We're using Text for Faith as a partnership with Circle Builder, but you can come talk to me about it. But the ability to actually set text to actually deliver Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is simple. To set it one for the men, one for the women, simple. Just a simple website that allows you to actually put in, because you can only do 140 to 160 characters. So you're either putting in a link, you're putting in a short URL, and what are you sending them? Are you sending them scripture, a video, link to the sermon? Have a nice day, a blessing. But it's a touch point, and it's from you. Or are you sending them a link to give or a need from the church? We need someone to do X, Y, and Z. More volunteers for the blood drive. So text messaging needs to be part of that strategy. This is Text for Faith. These are the guys behind the Haiti Giving, MGive. So I've partnered with these guys to actually be able to offer this. And now I don't offer this service. I'm really just the conduit to turn their light switch on and help more churches and ministries be able to do this. Because it's a very important touch point outside of Sundays, outside of once a week touch. Instant messaging, chat. It's just it's more interactive. It's back and forth. It's one-to-one, one-to-many. It's conversations happening all the time. So AIM is one of the biggest ones, but Yahoo and Google have them as well. Now, who's got the #1 position as far as followers on Twitter? Does anyone know? It was Ashton Kutcher. Remember there was a big race, Ashton Kutcher? And then it was Ellen DeGeneres. And then you could think it's some sports stars. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's Britney. She's got 6.2 million followers that actually care if she's actually getting a latte. I don't, but is that someone else? Someone here cares if she gets a latte. But it's unbelievable. But this is actually how messages go, and they go at the blink of an eyelash. On your Twitter page, they change so rapidly. So if you're not there in the moment, you can't see it unless you're going to go drill down into someone's page. So it's rapid fire. So it's very important to be able to, one, say something important usually, because if you start saying stuff that doesn't matter and you're not as popular as Britney, people stop following you. Okay? And following is only one criteria. You don't actually have to have that many followers to get your message out if you actually increase the frequency of your messages. And I'll talk to you about a little tool that does that for you. Oprah, she's got 4.5 million followers. That's not bad, right? A lot of people following Oprah. King James, LeBron James. In Ohio, he's not looked at as a kind guy. He moved to Miami, and he's taken his skills there. But he tweeted about the Dallas Cowboys last night and made national news. The national news talked about, LeBron James tweeting about how disappointed he was in his Dallas Cowboys starting off 1-7. But it's also some interesting stuff because he tweets between the other players, and people like to follow that, between Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, and there's a little rivalry going on between Charles Barkley. If that's your entertainment, that's your entertainment. Now, Rick Warren, I thought this was beautiful. He loves Jesus, and he loves his members, and he loves pastoring and mentoring, and he's wrote some books. Purpose-Driven Life, just a couple books, Purpose-Driven Ministry. But he's got 187,000 followers, and he's tweeted about 15,000 times, and actually tweets quite frequently. Now, I'm not sure if he has someone helping him with that, He may, but maybe he doesn't. Again, back to the other side of more secular stuff is Starbucks tweets. Why? Because they want you to talk about coffee. They want you to get that coupon. They want you to come to the store. They want you to tell other people about coffee. They want to tell you about good things they do with coffee. McDonald's has got 59,000, almost 60,000 people following it, and there's people talking about the McRib. CNN's got almost 3.5 million because this is a broadcast medium. Breaking news breaks on Twitter before it breaks anywhere else. And your news can break there too. Okay, heading in the home stretch here, and we started a little bit late, so I need 5 more minutes before lunch. YouTube, huge video channel. 250 million videos, and there's some yucky ones up there, and there's some just waste of time when you do a search up there to find what you're looking for. But the reason people go there, entertainment, calls to action, messaging, advertising, lots of reasons. And you can also have a private YouTube channel just for your own members. And just give them the login and password, and they can go see your stuff and no one else has to see it. Or if you'd actually rather have it, I did actually a quick search under Christianity, and you get some goofy stuff. I'm not agreeing with it all, but you get some very interesting stuff. Confessions, lies, you may not agree with it all, but that's out there. So you can actually respond to it, log into the video, and put some of your own comments there if you want to actually get into a conversation with someone about it. How important is it? Up to you. But there's also GodTube, Tangle, GodTube, a little more sanitized. Good place to have a channel, good place to direct your members if you actually want to put up homilies, music, plays, video, brilliance of the church. Get them interactive, give them a call to action. Plenty of content you can create. Streaming media. We've actually partnered with a little company just started out of Atlanta called Worship Vision, and be able to tell your message in either live or in broadcast streaming. And the reason I like these guys is because most streaming packages were like $500 to $1,000 a month. These guys start at $99. And they're just getting started, so I like that because it's affordable to be able to stream your message. And be able to stream your message to, one, anyone who wants it, but two, other parts of the world and other languages. Different versions, the short version, the late version, the Saturday version. Good stuff. Another strategy that you have to have. Uvu, this is George Jetson. This is how work gets done. Uvu, DimDim, Skype. This allows you to talk to 6 people at the same time, have a whiteboard, have a chat session, and get work done. You don't have to be in the same place. Although I do agree that meeting face-to-face, we was having a conversation last night, it takes it to a whole new level. But if you can't be there, you can actually do this. This is George Jetson. This is over a webcam, seeing 6 other people. This is how my team works. We're all not in the same city. Once a week we get on here and we actually see each other and do collaborative work. It's great. Uvu, DimDim, GoToMeeting, WebEx. These are collaborative tools that you can use. So for example, if you don't have to require someone to actually come to the church potentially for Bible study, but do a lunch and learn and do a webinar in the middle of the day. Might be more convenient people to take 45 minutes out of their lunch hour while they're sitting at their desk to actually hear from the church. Ask them. Think out of the box a little bit. Movie to save a life that had a real good message. It talked about some real difficult stuff. Cutting, teen suicide, drugs, drinking. You're not going to do too much of that talking on Facebook, though. That's why I built the community piece. You can really get down and dirty and talk to people online. But it's even better if you get them in the room. Music. Huge. Church music. Regular music. iTunes is awesome. That's why the stock's up 1,200%, right? The phones and everything, really innovative. But music is an important part of people's lives. We talked a little bit about this. Hundreds of millions of people buying that digital backhoe, right? Farmville. And then you got some games out there that are actually very violent. And the biggest demographic for gaming is actually young men, age 18 to 32. So we need a cool game that we got to come out and, it's cool enough but Christian enough to teach them. Second biggest demographic for game playing, moms. Moms with young kids. They're closed in the house. They're playing Slingo. They want to chat with other moms or other people. They're playing online games. These are games now where you can go play Madden football one-on-one with somebody in another part of the world. Last quiz question where we wrap up. Giving philanthropy, who's the influencer? The men, the women, the family, or all of the above? Okay, here we go. Smart crowd. 84% of giving decisions are made by the women. They're smarter than us anyway, so you might as well rely on that. There's only a few women in the room, but that's where the influence is. So where are you targeting your messaging for giving and tithing? Most of the time, it's just one strategy fits all. Have a strategy for women and their giving. Okay, this right here is actually called a hover. You know it as a floater across the web page. So this is actually Wisdom of the Martyrs, persecution.com, and you get like 17% click-through from a hover. Why? Because some people are trying to get rid of it, and they click through. But I have to tell you, it's very effective, and so this is called hover technology that floats over the website. Here's another version. This is Bible.com, okay, that gets 1 million hits a month or something like that, and they actually feed and service about 3 to 7 kids a week. Because this hovers, because you've got to either click it away or click on it. So it's some effective tools there as far as getting your message out via a hover. And then there's lots of giving choices out there, and it's competitive. You have to build your case. You have to know your audience. So Haiti earthquake relief is still on people's minds, but is Katrina? Is the tsunami? Probably not. Probably not. But medicine implies on how to give, actually. This is clean water. Clean water in Rwanda, or clean water in Africa, very important cause. This is the Salvation Army site. You have to tell you, someone's doing their smart homework here. This is a great site because they take in donations of different formats. They can take it via miles, donation, your thrift store, your volunteerism, or money. Go copy them. Go see what they do well and see if you can do it at your place. Now, this is where we step into the crazy part of the internet, because it's not all good, but it can be used for good. But the basic rule is, if you don't want someone else to see it, you probably don't want to publish it on Facebook. And so there's a site out here that off of Forbes that I found that actually talks about the gaffes and stuff out there. But there's people out there with ulterior motives. Right? Identity theft and all this other stuff that's now happening. And so we're looking at his identity theft. There's people stealing credit card numbers and stealing your identity. I've had it done. It's not fun. It's not fun. You feel violated, and it's this new computer crime that's out there. And so you got to be aware of it. And so, for example, a church to post pictures of kids, I recommend them not. You can get stock photos of kids. I recommend not putting the names and photos of kids up there. I love it on Facebook where, we're going away on vacation to Tahiti. Okay, I can come and check out your house, and if I have ulterior motives, right? Crazy, but you got to be careful what you post. And again, Facebook wants you to contribute as much as possible. Now, this is actually what happens when everyone's now getting a cell phone at age 9. There is a real problem out there of what you can do that isn't so godly. This is a movie star, Vanessa Hudgens, that sent a picture of herself naked. It's something called sexting. So it's either dirty talk or pictures or content that one person sends. And it's typically a girl being coerced to send that to a boy. And then that boy sends it to like the whole school. It's embarrassing, it's violating, and it's actually against the law. And so we need to educate and give good values, which the church teaches, to everybody, to understand that there's a decorum here. And that not everybody actually, unfortunately pornography and gambling, they exist. They've existed a long time. They're going to still continue to exist. But if we're smart, we can actually know what we need to do. Another thing going on is bullying. So if you actually, go to any of these schools now, the awareness on something, you say, they're bothering me. But the minute you were to use bullying, the social workers involved, the school administration's involved, and cyberbullying is the new attack. If you don't have a cell phone and you're 12, you're ostracized. And if you have one and you're using it, to pick on people, because they do that, you can actually quickly send a message and you can actually get 3 others to see it and send a message. And so these are new things we have to deal with in the psychology of growing up our young people. And there are sites Be Real Inc. that actually talks about sexting and cyberbullying and teaching the values. Because if they have the values, then they'll know it's not right. I just did a quick search on Twitter for porn, and boy, you get a lot. It's out there. You want to bury your head in the sand? You can. That's not something I do every day, but I wanted to see what I came up with. And there was lots of stuff. So I'm teaching my daughter that you see something like that, that's a site that we click off of, and we don't, that's not where we go. And you monitor it, and she knows why we don't go there. All right, next steps is that I was going to give you a little helpful hint. This is a new service called BuzzTweet that I found that allows you to, it's so overwhelming to actually be able to get all your tweets, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your updates in. And so it's an interesting little package. And they charge like 5 cents a tweet, and you can spend like $25 a month. And what it does is it actually populates it and sends more volume to Twitter. Because it's almost like a spammer, but Twitter hasn't caught on. But it allows you to control them and control your answers. And again, anything that consolidates the workload. Because I'm following 2,000 people on Twitter, and by the intake that I get, the amount of tweets, I can't even read them all. I don't even want them to come as email messages. So I actually have them go to a web page, and sometimes I actually get to it and look at them. But it's tough. It's that overload. There's a lot going on. So this is just one maybe helpful tool. There's lots of tools out there. There's TweetDeck, and there's lots of stuff out there that can help consolidate that for you. All right, a couple strategy things is that you need to, as good consultants, is you need to either bring in other consultants with you. You talk about tag teaming. It's an excellent opportunity to tag team or group help organizations, and I can be called in, and you can help me as well, and I'll help you, is that get that strategy and that plan for excellent digital communications. Because you're never going to get your message through the noise. The copycat strategy is okay. I told you, Life Church would be glad. Granger would be glad to share with you what their strategy is. So if it's working for them, it can work for you.